And we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the third part of the show, we are going to preview all of the early window games that are on Sunday. So we'll go through each of them, and I'll give you my thoughts on each game. I'll give you a prediction. I might not say who I would pick when it comes to the spread, just because I'm still undecided on some of these games. Because some of them are hard, because you just have no idea. So we'll start off with, actually we'll get the New York teams out of the way. So you got the New York Giants taking on the New York Jets. Both teams play in New Jersey. MetLife Stadium. Giants are technically the home team for this game. And the last time these two teams met, Jamal Adams ripped the ball out of Daniel Jones' hands and returned it for a touchdown. But I will say that nothing is going to at the moment, nothing is going to top Victor Cruz taking it to the house against the Jets in 2011 to begin the Giants Super Bowl run. Just saying. But yeah, obviously these two teams are a lot different than they were back in 2011. The Jets are 3-3, Giants are 2-5. And people are talking about, this could be the biggest rivalry in New York, and well, at least that's what they're saying here. And I'm like, no, it's not. I talked to my friends about it. No, it's not. They're making it out to be that way. I'm not. There are teams that play each other every 4 years. I don't think so. It looks like it's going to be Tyrod Taylor starting again. The Giants, the defense has been playing better the last couple of weeks. The offense, we finally scored an offensive touchdown at home. Yeah, it took until week 7 to do so. Jets are coming off of a bye week. The week before that, they obviously beat the Eagles, which is impressive. The defense forced 4 turnovers in the game. That's really the reason they won, is because of their defense. So you got two good the Jets are a good defense. Giants' defense has been playing better. So with this game, it's going to be low scoring. It's going to be low scoring. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat there. I think the Jets win this game. I think it's going to be close. But I think the Jets win. Right now, the Giants are +3. I mean, I would right now. I'm just going to say the Jets are going to win outright. I just look at them as the better team, and we'll see. But the Giants' defense has been playing well. They could definitely force Zach Wilson into some turnovers. But I think the Jets win this game. They're the better team, coming off of a bye. But we'll see. Then we move on to a NFC North battle. We got the Minnesota Vikings coming in after a huge win against the 49ers at 3-4, taking on the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field, who dropped the game against the Broncos last week and are 2-4, have lost 3 in a row. And yeah, things aren't looking good right now. It's tough, but you know what? I am going to pick the Packers in an upset. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say they win this game, and you're like, what have they shown you to, win this game? Nothing really, but you know what? They're due for a win. They are definitely due for a win. They're at home. The Vikings coming off of that huge win against the Niners, so they're running high. Packers are due for a win right now. They've lost 3 in a row. You would think they got to win at some point, right? And listen, the Vikings, they won against the best team, arguably, in football up until this point. So obviously, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, they should win against the Packers, no problem. But I'm going to be a little risky here. I'm not confident with it, but I say the Packers win this game. So I'll take them to win against the Vikings. But, expect Kirk Cousins to have a good game. I mean, Jordan Love, don't turn the ball over, which probably will happen. But the problem is Packers get off to these slow starts, and then, they get it going in the second half, and it's too late. So we might see the same thing happen again. But, I'll take the Packers in an upset. Then we got the 5-2 Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the 4-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers coming off of a big win against the Rams last week. Jacksonville defeating the Saints on Thursday. This should be a good game. and I didn't like picking against the Steelers last week. My dad's a Steelers fan. I really didn't think they were going to beat the Rams, but they did. Got to give them credit. They're 4-2. But you know what? I'm going to go with the Jags in this game. They're starting to gel a little bit. Although, like, in the second half of last week's game, they weren't as good as they were in the first half. Against the Saints. But you know what? They still held on. They won the game. They look like they're taking the hold of the division. So I'll take them. Although, I won't be surprised if the Steelers win because that defense is really good. Jags defense also been playing really good as well as of late. So then we got the Houston Texans taking on the Carolina Panthers. You got the number 1 overall pick versus the number 2 overall pick, Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud. Panthers are 0-6. Texans are 3-3. I took the Panthers with the points in my spread pool because it was 3.5. But you know what? I'm going to say the Texans win, but it's going to be a close game. I went with the points, home underdog. I know the Panthers are 0-6. But hey, listen, they were up 14-0 against Miami a couple weeks ago. So maybe, this game will be competitive. And, C.J. Stroud's having a good season. So, hopefully it's a good game. But I see the Texans win this game. Panthers cover. But we'll see. Then you got the Rams going to Jerry World to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Rams coming in at 3-4. Cowboys coming in at 4-2. Coming off of a bye. Rams are getting 6 points, and I was thinking about taking it, but I don't know. I'm going to say the Cowboys win this game, but again, I might. Right now I have the Cowboys in my spread pool. I might change it. Because the Rams, I still think they could be a wild card team, but they didn't look great against the Steelers last week, and again the Cowboys. I mean, they're at home. They've been good at home this year. They blew out the Jets. They blew out the Patriots. I know you could look at that and say, well, the Jets aren't a bad team. Patriots are a bad team. I think at home they win by a touchdown. But right now I have Dallas winning. I would say Dallas wins. So now we got the next game. You got the Saints and the Colts. I really don't know who to pick for this game. The Colts, they put up 38 points on the Browns defense last week. A lot of people are talking about them being a really good defense, and they are, but that was a really bad game for their defense last week. Gardner Minshew playing quarterback for them. And then you got the Saints coming in at 3-4. They haven't looked great on offense. I mean, Derek Carr has been throwing the ball, 50-plus times the last 2 weeks. So, you kind of want to, hope he doesn't have to do that again. They've been checking it down to Alvin Kamara. Saints fans are really frustrated with the play calling. So, I mean, I don't like it, but I am going to pick the Saints to win this game. I think they are due, just like the Packers, they are another team that is due for a win. They've lost to the Texans. They've lost to the Jags. Now they're playing another AFC South opponent. But I think they get the win here. But again, I will not be surprised if the Colts win. I think that it's going to be a competitive game. The Saints haven't looked good, but we'll see. So I'm going to say the Saints win this game because I think they're due for a win. Then you got the New England Patriots at 2-5 after an unexpected win against the Bills, taking on the Miami Dolphins at 5-2. Right now, the Dolphins are 9.5-point favorites. Tyreek Hill actually practiced, so it looks like he's on track to play. It gave a lot of people a little bit of a scare because he missed practice, but he was back at practice, so he's going to play. Jalen Waddle, he's dealing with an injury right now. He's questionable, I believe, with a back injury. So we'll see what his status is for this week. Once we get up to the game. I'm going to say the Dolphins win and cover. The Bills, they just have not looked great. Recently. So the Patriots, they caught them at the right time. They're going to Miami after a big win, and Miami's played well against them the last couple of years, especially in Miami. So I think the Dolphins win by a couple of scores. But again, that's what I think. I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots cover in this game. But Tyreek Hill playing, that's going to be a problem for him. And I don't think the Patriots have the offense to keep up with the Dolphins. So I'll take the Dolphins and I'll lay the 9.5. All right, then we got another game. I have no idea. We got the Falcons and the Titans. Falcons coming in at 4-3, Titans 2-4. It's a home game for the Titans. Will Levis will be making his NFL debut. Teams both have good defenses. The Titans, obviously, they traded away Kevin Byard to the Eagles. So that secondary is a little bit weaker. Listen, you would think, take the Falcons. I'm going to take the Titans with the points at home. I don't trust the Falcons. And I know they beat the Bucs last week on the road, but back-to-back road games, I think the Titans pull off the upset here. Desmond Ritter's been turning the ball over. I think that's going to continue. But we'll see. We'll see how Will Levis does in his debut. Again, don't feel great about it. I really don't feel great about any of these picks. I'm going to be honest. I'm probably going to have another rough week. All right, so then for the final early slate game, early window game, you got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. The last time these two teams met, they were in Philadelphia. It went into overtime. Eagles were able to win. Jake Elliott kicked the game-winning field goal. What was the score for that game? That was final score of that game was 34-31. The Commanders are a +7 home underdog. And right now in the forecast, it says it's going to rain. Again, I don't feel confident. I'm going to take the Eagles. I'm going to say I'm going to take them to win the game, but I think they'll cover the spread. I think they'll correct the mistakes from, the last time these two teams met. And the other thing, too, is I took the Eagles the last time, and I feel like in this spot you'd be like, well, the last time the Commanders played well against the Eagles, so I'm going to take them here at home. They're getting 7 points. And then you know what's going to happen? The Eagles are going to, win by multiple scores. So I'm not going to fall into that trap, but you know what? Again, my predictions have been very bad, so I'm probably going to be wrong. But yeah, so to run through them really quickly, so I got the Jets winning over the Giants, Packers over the Vikings, Jags over the Steelers, Texans over the Panthers, Panthers covering. Right now I have Dallas over the Rams and covering. Saints over the Colts, Dolphins over the Patriots, Titans over the Falcons, Eagles over the Commanders. Those are all of my picks for the early window games on Sunday. So, with that, we are going to take our final break of the show, and then when we come back, we will then preview and do our picks for the late window games. So that'll be what we do when we come back from our final break of the show. So stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.